Good morning, everybody. My name is Dustin. Thank you for clicking on this live. I totally appreciate each and every one of you for being here already so early this fine, sunny, beautiful Indiana morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matt Franklin is here from the Disney Beach Resort. Thank you so much. And always showing up with that little bit of Disney magic that I need. I just need it. Sherry, what we're looking at here. Matt is here. Jeff Foltz is here. Calling me Justin. I see you, Jeff. John Gugahan is here. Good morning, sir. Sherry is here. Let's see what she has to say. She says, "Good morning. Greetings from an overcast yet beautiful morning here in Leavenworth, Kansas. So looking forward to meeting you at Keto Palooza in October. I look forward to meeting you too. I look forward to Keto Palooza. It's going to be a good time. Really, really is. I'm looking forward to it." Charlie is here. Good morning, Charlie. Uncle Big Guy is here. Brian Doyle. I clicked on it. Why didn't it do what I wanted it to do? What's going on? Why is it not? Things don't do what I want it to do. Brian Doyle, good morning, sir. How are you? Christian Delorme is here. Bonjour, everybody. Raining 50 degrees here in Canada. It was cold. I think it's 48 degrees here, but it's sunny with a high of 80 today. So that'll be interesting. Heath is here. Good morning, Mr. Heath. Mr. Hungry Heath. Carl is here. Good morning, Mr. Carl. He says, always make it a habit to smash the thumbs up. Reminds me, I should probably smash the thumbs up on myself here. There we go. Always like yourself. If there's a lesson from this live, always like yourself. Good morning, Cindy. Hey, I corrected. I know, but I had to give you a little bit of, I had to give you a little something, something. It's funny. Let's see. Does anybody believe their change to a proper human diet alters body chemistry to repel mosquitoes? I think this, and then sometimes I still get mosquito bites. So I mean, I imagine it probably does have something to do with it. So some people say they have never had a mosquito bite since changing over. I still get them every once in a while, but we kind of live like, not wouldn't say country by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit like, I mean, we're in the suburbs of a country, but I guess, you know, my mustache is getting long. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I don't worry about as much, but it's definitely something that I still get them every once in a while and they always end up in the weirdest places, like on your foot. Who has coffee? Who has coffee? So we use a Nespresso machine for our coffee, and this is, I think, 4 or 5 shots of espresso. And I got some Nescafe espresso powder, instant espresso powder. It's a blonde. I found it at Walmart the other day, and I put like two or three spoonfuls in here too. So, whoo, it is delicious. I like my coffee extra coffee flavored. If you haven't noticed, do you like your coffee extra coffee flavored? Just let me know. Mm. Oh, I am joined today by my friend Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. Yeah. I'm a nerd. It's fine. It's what I do. All right, let's see. I have coffee. Matt has coffee. Let's see. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Doggone it. People like me. Daily affirmations. Deep thoughts with Jack Handy. John says he's sorting vitamins for the week. Let's see. Good thing you are sitting down. I have salted caramel iced coffee, doctored up with chocolate collagen, chocolate skinny syrup, and a tablespoon of heavy whipping cream. Just, I don't know. I just pour heavy cream with my heart. You need to hear Dennis Leary's bit about coffee flavor. Yeah, that's where I get it from. That's he's like, I get in the truck and smell maple waffles. Why don't I have coffee? Just coffee flavor coffee. I mean, there was a thing like, I guess like his best joke or the song that he sings on the No Cure for Cancer album, I guess was Stolen. He took the premise from Louis C.K. because Louis C.K. was talking about this one time. And like, I guess Dennis Leary even realized he did it too, but weird. I'll tell you who I really, really, really wanted to see at Disney when I was there. I wanted to see Kevin. I wanted to see Kevin at I wanted to see Kevin at Animal Kingdom. I wanted to see Kevin at Animal Kingdom. Let's see. Sherry's talking about Stuart Smalley. Stuart Little was the mouse that rode the motorcycle. Just crawling out of bed to make coffee. Well, it's like 2 hours earlier. It's like what 5:30 a.m. where you are, Mr. Big Guy? Yeah, be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. That's a song from Bluey. Sometimes I'm just like, I hope I don't come off rude with that stuff, but sometimes I'm like, I don't think that's right. Bring me the whole cow. I'll carve off what I want and ride the rest home. And like, how do we decide what we're going to eat? Like, I'm a little otter. Okay, you're cute. You're free to go. What are you? I'm a cow. Get on the truck. I had that album when I was in middle school. It was like one of the few comedy albums that I listened to over and over again. That and like when Dane Cook came out, and that stuff was like his initial like 30-minute, his like half-hour comedy special was amazing. I actually got in trouble at work. I was an adult, but I got in trouble at work because we would just be like, we would kept saying, and the pickles, and the pickles, and the pickles. And this lady thought we were talking about her. She thought we were making fun of her. It just had nothing to do with her. She was just overhearing us, and we're just joking and giggling about pickles. Like my manager has set me down. He's like, "She's worried." I'm like, It's a comedy bit about pickles working at Burger King, the BK Lounge, if you will." Yes. Oh my goodness gracious. Good morning, everybody. Bucky says hi. Mm. Why is coffee so good? Or am I just delusional? Mm. Yeah, I had an interesting day yesterday. So I got up, hung out, got Shander out the door. I've been like addicted to watching Yellowstone. Um, Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate you. Oh, I love you, Cindy. So, if you haven't checked out, Cindy had before I go off my story about yesterday, I wanted to before I forget, Cindy had Chris and Miriam from Keto Chow on their live on Friday. So go and check that out. Watch the replay. Go ahead and also go and check out Hunger Heath. They cook every Friday night, so go check them out. Um Tried to get After Dark started, but they weren't having it. But you know. Yeah, I agree. The No Cure for Cancer was really good. The next one wasn't that great. I guess he didn't get better comedians to steal from. Oh, that is very true. Thank you for the reminder. Good morning, all. Happy Mother's Day. So yesterday I had to get up. Well, I got up to get Shander out the door like normal. Then I went to Walmart because I needed to buy a new pair of slacks. $13, little man, for some black slacks. Because I'm not a fancy person. I'm not a fancy person. I could have $1 billion and still wear like Dickies and Walmart pants because I don't care. I mean, I'd probably spend more money on the shoes. I like shoes. I like, and they're not even really expensive shoes. I just want lots of shoes. I don't know why. It's just what it is. I guess when when you're a bigger person, shoes are easier to shop for than clothes. And that's always kind of been the way I am. But anyway, so I had to get up, went to Walmart, and I bought a couple new T-shirts because I mean, like $6 at Walmart for some T-shirts, and it's always good to have extra T-shirts. Just plain T-shirts for me, really. I like plain T-shirts. I mean, I will wear Dickies and black T-shirts and all that. That's my jam. Like I said, I could be $1 billion wearing George T-shirts from Walmart. I don't care. Um, but yeah, then I went home and I was watching some Yellowstone. And I went to my buddy, my buddy that I've been friends with since high school. His father had passed away. He was uh, I didn't realize how old his dad was. I mean, I knew he was always like older. Like when we were in high school, his dad wasn't far from retirement. Um, like I graduated in '98. My buddy graduated in '99, and his dad retired, I think, in '02, '03, something like that. I mean, he passed away, and I didn't realize that he passed away at the age of 87. Um, it was a pretty good service yesterday. And I went and visited my grandpa. If any of you those who follow me on Facebook, I posted a picture of his gravesite. I haven't been to that gravesite in a long time. I used to go with my mom and grandma. They would go visit, and we would go check it out and stuff, and visit. And it's just not something that I've ever really like done. But I figured I was there. I would go find it. I had to actually had them tell me because where I was thinking it was and where it actually was were two different places. So I would not have ever have found it. And it did still took me a while to kind of find it, but I did. I found it and hung out there for a little while yesterday and had a moment, as you do. Yeah. And then came home and made myself something to eat. And then Chandra came home from work and I made her sit outside with me for a little while and watch the sunset. Just kind of one of those like, you know what? I want to watch the sun. I mean, even though we really can't see it because there's like houses, but you can sound like they can kind of the sun goes behind the houses or whatever. So, a little bit of like, a little bit of something, something. So yes, I will be on Cindy's live stream on May 24th. I will send you a picture when I am good and ready, okay? You hearing me, Pam? Anyway, happy Mother's Day, Cindy, and everybody else, Evelyn, all the wonderful mothers who come in and hang out with me. Um, yeah, as always, if you have channels, you have live streams and all that stuff, let people know what's going on. I don't want to be. I want to make sure everybody knows about everything because again, there's so much going on all the time that it's easy to miss them. Because there's probably at any given moment, there's probably I think Dr. Chafee's live right now too, or about to go live or something. So I mean, there's no real safe time to go live where you're not all, going live at the same time as somebody else, no matter what happens. Like even on Tuesdays, I feel bad because we go live on Tuesdays at 7 and have for a while. And now I feel bad because now Chris Cook in Nashville goes live at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. And, you know, it's just, I mean, it's a wonderful problem to have because it's wonderful to see so many great people doing the thing, you know. So Heath has his live stream at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time today. So 2 p.m. civilized time. And then, um, yeah, it's impossible to not overlap anybody. I mean, I mean, even yesterday before, James and Emily went live, James gave me a call, which was like, I always enjoy hearing from him and hearing from Emily and talking with them. Um, and they were like, "Are you going live today?" I was like, "No, I've got a funeral to go to." And I mean, I didn't have anybody booked. I haven't really been putting a lot of any effort really at all to book anybody for Saturdays. So I should be trying to get this job thing going and all that stuff. So I'm trying not to overbook myself. So yeah. And Matt, just tell her. Really just tell her to pick a date that's best for you and for her. That's easy to pick, for a night that's easy, that's not stressful, because that's really going to be what comes down to is like a pick a night that obviously if there's lives that you like to watch, don't overlap those because then obviously you can't watch them or whatever. But I mean, pick a night that's easy and less stressful. Like I wish we wouldn't have went with Tuesdays all that long time ago because then I have another one on Tuesday night and like it just becomes stressful. But we like doing it Tuesday. We get them out of the way. But I just wish there's never enough time. Really, what it comes down to. So, but yeah, just find a day that works best for you guys. Like no matter what, you're probably gonna overlap with somebody. It's just impossible not to. I mean, it just is. There was a point in time where you didn't, but now it's just the way it like with all the carnivore channels and everything. There's just two or three lives. It feels like going all at once. Like I really feel bad because Russ has been wanting me to come on his Tuesday night live, but we've got our live at 7, and I've got a live at 9:30, and his starts at his live starts at like 9. And then Keto Chow goes live at like 9 or 9:15. So I mean, it's just there's a lot going on. There just is. And it is what it is. So, you know, the issue that I come with is like if I'm live, I can't watch yours. And there's enough people to watch, and not everybody's going to be here to watch me and all that stuff. So it is what it is. And I mean, even if somebody comes in and hangs out with me for 10 minutes and goes and watches somebody else, that's perfectly fine. Because especially like on a Sunday morning, I'm going live for 2 hours most of the time. I don't expect people to hang out with me for 2 whole hours. I'm with me all the time. I don't blame you. Mm. But yeah, it was a nice day yesterday. I really enjoyed myself. I mean, obviously, circumstances being as they are were obviously not optimal, but seeing friends and, you know, yeah, watching the replays. Yeah. Um, yeah, watching the replays. Good morning, Becky. Um, replays and all that fun stuff. And I mean, even that, I mean, even like just watching lives each week would be like a full-time job anymore. So, I understand. I totally understand. And I know that it's kind of a nightmare trying to, do the thing. So it is what it is. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah. See, look, Heath is leaving. He's abandoning me. Abandonment. I think we have a Sam's Club membership. I need to see if I can sign in and check it out. I can't remember who's or what's it's. I swear, because I think Shander said that the Sam's Club payment came out. I just got to figure out what account we have it under. Oh, yeah. Sana and I will not, not have a live stream on the 31st. I will be at Hack Your Health. I will not be at Hack Your Health. She will be at Hack Your Health. My little one is graduating from preschool, so I will be there because that's the most important. I have keto brains. I don't know what I did with it. I had like the sample pack from Keto Palooza. I don't know whatever happened to it. It's probably in the cabinet somewhere. Everything kind of gets jumbled up and kind of gets just kind of mixed up, you know. First world problems right there. I don't know what we're talking about, but yeah, a lot of first world problems here. I did something good. I'm just going to go with it. I did something good. She's saying good job. I'm taking it at face value. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm taking it. Gold star for me. Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, I haven't even been to Sam's. I don't even know. I think we haven't been there in 2 years, so I don't even know. Oh, it's Chandra's bank account. It's hers. That's why she's like, "Hey, this came out." I was like, "Oh, okay." I need to try to log back in and see if I can figure it out, but probably be easier if I went downstairs and pulled the card out and had like the number and like the little whatever. Mm. Ah. So Heath and Shelly, are you guys going to be visiting up for Hack Your Health or whatever? Um, you guys aren't far from Austin. It's not that far of a drive. I can't remember if you guys talked about that or not. Things kind of go in and then go. I don't know. I just don't know. Everything kind of goes in, they go bye bye, and I don't know what's happening. So you guys live near Austin. I mean, like a couple hours. I mean, compared to like me, I'm like 1,200 miles from Austin. So you know, mm, it'd be so difficult for me to be in Austin and go to like a health summit and not go watch a bunch of comedy. There's like Sixth Street. There's just like tons and tons of comedy places. Well, that's not what I'm asking. I mean, I understand you're not going to go to the convention, but there's going to be a lot of people in town that you could say hello to. Um, or maybe meet up and have dinner with, or things like that. That's what I would be looking to do. Not necessarily going to the actual Hack Your Health Summit or whatever. And I mean, I am curious. Okay, so here's the reason I was initially upset with KetoCon and the idea it's Hack Your Health by KetoCon and it's not so much food focused. Realistically, to me, we sort of have the food figured out. Really, I mean, meat, eggs, it's not difficult. So to me, I've been thinking about this for a while. Kind of the first time I've put it kind of out there, kind of like and put my thoughts out into the ethos, I suppose. But like they're looking to, and I know they're trying to sell products, they're trying to sell devices. They're selling, optimization, supplements, things like that. That we not necessarily may not need, but it's still interesting, and they're not trying to sell us like keto branded foods that we don't need either. So it is interesting to see what they come up with. I thought last year, at least the footage that I saw, they had the continuous ketone monitor, which was new to the market at the time. I thought that was fascinating. That's something cool. So yes, I understand that like a lot of the vendors aren't going to be what we would expect the vendors to be, but I still think it's interesting the direction that they're going because they are trying to go for optimized health. And I was irritated at first about it. And the more I think about it, you know, it doesn't upset me like it did. And just because I think that it's something to think about and just curiosity to see what companies can come up with. Because I mean, you can go to the grocery store and throw something and hit something keto branded. That's not an issue. You can go online and you can do searches and find stuff. And there's creators, and we're all getting emails and stuff about new products or whatever coming out. And so, I mean, that's not something that I would really. I guess the only thing about it is if I was going, it'd be nice to try things there that I didn't want to pay for off the top. So, I mean, it's definitely something, yeah. That it doesn't upset me like it once did, at least the beginning of last year. So it's a 3.5 hour drive plus in and out fees for parking. No bueno. I get it. Let's see. So I also work Saturday would be a burn vacation day for that. So we don't, and we do have friends and family in the area, but figure we can visit anytime. Yeah. So that's interesting. And and I have thoughts about this as well. Um, Watching Yellowstone and seeing like what it is to go against the establishment, how much money is at stake. I kind of wonder like at what point with people like Dr. Barry and Dr. Westman and folks like trying to start something like the Diabetes Society, the American Diabetes Society, to go against the American Diabetes Association. I kind of wonder with the money, the behemoth that company is, or that not for profit is, even though they make such a large profit. I'm just curious to wonder, like, what kind of actual pushback will there be? It's just one of the things, And I understand he said, all these products are, BS and all that stuff. I just wonder, like, what kind of hornet's nest are we going to uncover as we continue to push and push and push? Because when you start pushing somebody's bottom line, there's typically pushback. And I know that right now there's a lot of probably disinformation, things of that nature. There's a lot of stuff like that probably going on. Oh, that's why we get the weird articles. Oh, keto will do this, and keto has been shown to do this, and it's not healthy, and all that. I think we're going to see more and more of that, and probably even more down and dirty. But we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But not to say that we shouldn't try, because we are. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing every morning. We're hanging out. We're pushing our own ideas, our own agenda against the status quo. So, you know, whatever fallout may come, right? Not that I'm worried about me. I'm just you know, I don't even necessarily qualify as a micro influencer. So they're not paying attention to me. But someone like Dr. Barry and Dr. Westman with, combined millions of subscribers and followers and people who come to see them speak, they are making somewhat of a noise. So I'm just curious to see how that's going to play out. Good morning, Chris. How are we doing, buddy? Here to stir the pot this morning. Yes, yes, indeed. I was talking about your live on Tuesdays, and I was like, because people always talk about trying to go live or trying to find the best night. And I'm like, it's impossible to not overlap. And I was just saying, basically, like, find a night that works best for you so you're not stressed out, and then watch replays and all that stuff. So hopefully we can garner that kind of thing. Just like with the end of this one, I try to tell people to go over and catch Autumn and Richard because they do go live right after us. Like I said, I think that Dr. Chafee's live while I'm live as well. So that's always a possibility too. So like what's going on, you know. And I know that a lot of the ladies fancy Mr. Chafee, Dr. Chafee. Mm. But that's so good. Like I've been mixing this blonde espresso powder in with my espresso, adding coffee to my coffee. So yeah. Says I'm living proof that keto works, down nearly 250 pounds and completely reversed my type 2 diabetes. Yeah. I love that, Heath. Do I worry about being in an echo chamber? I think that for me personally, I fight to have not just keto people, but carnivore people and everybody kind of talking together because I know that we're all under the umbrella of like the proper human diet. And I wonder too, though, like, and I talked about this on my live with Charlie, where we were talking about the idea that his A1C had started to creep up with carnivore. And it was something that Dr. Barry was talking about, that there's a theory that if you're doing strict carnivore, your red blood cells are living longer. Again, this is a theory. It hasn't been proven as far as I understand. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a theory. Um, Red blood cells living longer, causing it to skew A1C numbers, but there are other tests that they can run to help confirm your A1C, or at least your blood numbers, to make them look better. Because typically, what an A1C is a 3 month snapshot of your blood sugars, because your red blood cells live about 3 months. So if they're living longer, it's a skewed number. We'd have to change the calculations or whatever, right? So I kind of wonder too, with those kind of things, like, how do we know? Are we sure we're looking at the right information? Are we sure we're doing the right thing? Because while I understand this, this works for me, but I know it doesn't work for everybody. We've known people who can't stick to keto, can't stick to whatever, and they just keep going back to whatever it is. And whether that's just an addiction issue, which it most likely is, I understand that no matter what you do, no matter what you're going to try to overcome, some people thrive on a carnivore diet. Some people thrive on a keto diet. Some people thrive on a lower protein keto diet. They just need more vegetables. Some people don't like meat and they're going to be more vegetarian based. Whatever keeps you optimal for yourself. Now, is that optimal, truly optimal? I don't know. I'm not here to say. I'm not a doctor or healthcare professional, and nothing that I say in this live stream should be considered medical advice. But that out of the way, I just think that the idea that we're all in this showcasing what works best for us, and we're always trying something new. And I think there's always kind of like people like Paul Saldino who are saying, eat fruit and have honey and surf 7 hours a day. That's different. But I mean, he does get flack because he's different. But I think it's important, even whether or not I agree with somebody, I think it's important for other people to share their perspectives, their points of view, their findings, because it's all valuable to us. Because what I think is perfect for me right now may not be perfect for me in 5 years. Just the same thing as what I was doing in the beginning of keto isn't necessarily what I'm doing now. So I hope to find out that, I hope that we are pushing instead of. And one thing that I do kind of see from time to time in like the carnivore community is people are saying, well, carnivore is the only way. And that does kind of scare me into the echo chamber mindset, is if you come into something as, well, that's the only thing that's going to work for anybody, then it becomes very dogmatic, and that becomes becomes scary, because we're all different. We're all going to thrive in different manners. And I don't think there is one ring to rule them all. Does that make sense? So hopefully we don't become into an echo chamber, because that's not what I want. And I'm always having people on, like I had a lady on, like one of the last people I had on my live. She was talking about some happy juice stuff she was drinking and lost a bunch of weight and having a good time. That worked for her. Now, would that be something that I would advise for anybody else? No, I didn't even, she didn't promote her product, which I was very thankful for, but she did talk about her utilizing the product for herself. And that's what I want to do, is showcase what people are doing for themselves, not necessarily trying to sell you what they're doing. You can take whatever they're doing and look further into it or ask questions, but I'm not here to sell anything to anybody. I mean, yeah, I do work with companies, but I mean, I work with Keto Chow. You know Keto Chow. If you want to buy Keto Chow, I'm just offering a link for 10% off. If you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it. Whether you buy it from me or you buy it from Two Crazy Ketos or Cindy or anybody else who has an affiliate link with with Keto Chow, or what any of the products that I sell. Really, I just try to make sure that I'm selling something as a discount to you, because chances are you're going to be using it anyway. So I'm not trying to sell you something that you don't already want to use. I'm not here to sell you my way of doing things, as my way is the best way to do it. My way is maybe just best for me today. It may not be best for me tomorrow. So that's what I try to make sure that I'm outlining with, with these talks and with these lives, because it is so easy to get wrapped up in an echo chamber. It is so easy to get caught up in the idea that this is the one true way to do it. And if everybody's not doing it this way, then they're wrong. And I'm not going to even be affiliated with them. And that's scary. You know, I mean, think about the people that we know who've lived on the standard American diet and have been healthy. Their biomarkers are fine. They're, not overweight. They're just fine. And they live to be 80, 90 years old. It works for them. Does it work for the majority? No. Goodness gracious. Thank you for mute buttons. Woo. But yeah, let me get back to some of these comments here. I know, Heath. Keto isn't healthy. I had a friend tell me to be careful because once I stop being keto, all my weight will come. Well, that's the one thing. Like, I had people in my comments say, keto just makes type 2 diabetes worse because then when you eat bread, it raises your glucose even higher. And I'm like, isn't that what insulin does? I'm gonna keep using more and more and more insulin. Pick your choice. Food or medicine. Well, that's an easy fix. Don't stop being keto. 1000%. If we all would be a big proper human diet family and then try different things to figure out where we feel best and we're happiest and support each other in that, we would be a nice world and more success for all. That's 1000% too, because that's what I try to say. And that's what I try to make sure that, just inclusivity. And I know that we're in a time of inclusivity and we're talking about inclusivity, but there's not a lot of it actually really going around. I want to make sure that we're all here because my goal is to make sure you're healthy. However, you accomplish that. Woo, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those things. Like, yeah, Chris says that the dogmatic carnivores are loud and angry and feel like an arch nemesis. Yeah, they just kind of latch on to something, and that's one thing I'm trying to make sure that people understand. We're all on the same team. It's going to take all of us, not just because if you think about it, the likelihood of the majority of Americans, excuse me, becoming strict carnivore is about zero. I don't know how entrenched we are really with the standard American diet, how entrenched we are with the foods that we like to eat, how entrenched society is with the food it's deemed healthy for so very long, and that's all people know. To even the fact that I'm watching Yellowstone and they're ranchers and they're still like, have you been cleared to eat red meat? Doctor says I'm fine. You are a rancher. It's a show about ranching cattle. Why on earth would they not be trying to point the fact that meat is healthy or even sustainable for the environment? There's been multiple things said on that show that show, well, how could you judge me? You raise cattle. What? No, that is not how this works. So the status quo runs deep, even in a show about ranching, raising cattle for food, and they don't even think it's healthy on the show. How does that make any sense? And it drives me up a wall. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is very true. That's why I'm like a weeping willow. Oh, Like, I really dislike hearing all the dogmatism of yeah, the doc that I mean, and it happens too. I mean, it was the same thing with keto. Keto's the same way. I mean, there's the people that are like, I remember in the early days of keto finding products and somebody's like, that's got maltodextrin in it, but not in an informative way, in a like, oh, how dare you kind of way. There's an informative way to tell somebody, well, that's got vegetable oil in it, or that's got this in it. This is what I would look at. These are the ingredients that I try to watch out for. And then there's that dogmatic, I'm better than you type way because this is how I live. So, oh, my nose is running. Ugh, because I sneezed. Oh, let's see. Keto has helped me lose weight, anxiety, and depression. Keto has helped my wife lose weight and reverse her type 2 diabetes. I couldn't imagine living out of the way now. Yeah. And I mean, to me, like keto is flexible to me because I can have for dinner tonight, I can just have a big bowl of broccoli with a bunch of butter and feel fine. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna have 2 pounds of hamburger and feel fine. And then the next day, maybe have some hot dogs, feel fine. You know what I mean? Like have a bunch of eggs, whatever. Like to me, I can be carnivore for a couple of weeks and then decide, you know what, I really want some broccoli. If it doesn't, I mean, it gives me gas, but I mean, I'm willing to live with a little bit of gas for because broccoli with a lot of butter is delicious. And I mean, it's not Doritos. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that broccoli is bad. I just think that we get so caught up in what is right and what is wrong and what's best that we tend to think we know what's best for everybody because this little thing worked for me. Now, even Dr. Baker has said carnivore isn't a sustainable lifestyle for everybody. And we know it's not sustainable for everybody. That's the thing is would the world be better if we were all carnivore? Probably. But is that sustainable? And I'm not saying sustainable for enough food for the planet. We would definitely have to work together to make that happen. And we would have to change a lot of laws and we'd have to change a lot of our monocrop agriculture and all that stuff. Right now, the world isn't set up for that. It's not sustainable worldwide the way that things are set up, the way that the US government does subsidies on corn, soy, wheat, and all that stuff. It's just not sustainable. And the fact that there are cattle ranchers out there who are feeding their cows Skittles and candy and stuff, and they're like, that's not a bad thing. It's not what they're supposed to eat. And I don't care who you are telling me that it's okay just to feed your cattle whatever's cheap coming from the plant or the factory down the road, just because it's not what could be sold to us doesn't make it good for the cows. You'll never tell me that feeding a cow candy that makes us sick isn't going to make them sick too. And it's a little bit of a weird diatribe and kind of off the mark a little bit, but it just kind of came into my head and it bugs me because I because there was like a dairy farmer that I liked on Instagram and whatever, and he would show like different stuff and try to show people that like caring for cows is good and all that stuff. And then he's like, "Do we feed? Yeah, we feed them this stuff because it's cheap." And I'm like, that's not good for the cows. It's fine for the no, it's not. There's no way on this planet or a cow that eats primarily grass and roughage in a field that we can't process is going to be okay eating all the stuff that you're throwing in their food. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Chris hit the nail on the head. I'm inclusive with anybody who thinks just like me. And that's a problem that we're running into these days. Dr. Bernstein's book Diabetic Solutions talks about even if not diabetic, the more insulin needed to offset foods eaten, the more damage done by the organs, the cardiovascular system, your eyes. Like That's why, like, I mean, that's why so many diabetics go blind and their fingers get cut off. It's not good. So we need to stop. Stop. Especially when we're Whole Foods running ads about Meatless Monday. Yeah, I don't understand. He's an 86-year-old type 1 diabetic still practicing medicine. Yeah. Yeah, I try not to be keto police. I try to be more keto advisor, but like, yeah, nose is running, better catch it. I crack myself up. How you dare, John? Sorry, I'm not too active in the chat today. I'm doing some cleaning and listening in the background. That's fine, John. Do your thing. You just don't love us. I understand. I totally get it. Cleaning is the bane of my existence. It's okay. Me too. Just listening. That's good. Well, I'm glad you guys are here anyway. But yeah, like to me, like, like the topic, like it's not necessarily a topic, but I got to put a title on these things. And, just like Sunday coffee or whatever, episode 5 or whatever, or how many we've been doing of these, just doesn't sell it. It doesn't pique people's interest. So nothing ventured, nothing gained is a quote from a movie that I like. It's an old John Hughes movie. Maybe you've heard of it, Some Kind of Wonderful. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So nothing ventured to me like is like, we're doing this thing, we're putting our lives out there. We are putting our progress, our failures, everything out there, our successes, failures. We're putting it out there for everybody to see. And hopefully we can leverage our success, our personal success and bundle it all together with everybody's personal success and help the most people we can. So, he says keto has helped with improving my hearing. When I was 2 years old, I had spinal meningitis that left me deaf in my left ear. Pardon? Anyway, um, so a few years ago, he went to the ENT and realized that he's not as deaf as he once was told. Could that be something with like the changing of the tools they're utilizing to check for hearing and such? Do you think that could be the case too? Again, like for me not to be an echo chamber, like not think, because my kids get onto me all the time, like if you were keto, you wouldn't have that flat tire. You know, is it a possible case for just the instrumentation and the ability to test for things better is a reason why we're seeing, or you're seeing the improvement? Just like like they're like, why is all this cancer? Could it be we're testing more? I don't know. Let's see. Chris has a question. He says, is there a dish that you miss and wish was good keto or carnivore version, but you haven't ever seen it yet? The ones you've tried, not good. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. I know I just saw that you did a video of like of carnivore lo mein. I haven't got a chance to watch that video yet. Um, like Chinese food. Um, which we make like Chinese food rice, like cauliflower rice stuff every once in a while. With like you can get the G Hughes sauces, like the teriyaki or the orange chicken, and even I think Good Chicken is now, or whatever, good Real Good Foods or whatever, puts out like some chicken nugget bites that are like teriyaki or General So or whatever. So that's definitely something to try. Um, I'll tell you what, I don't even know if it's possible, but I want a carnivore, like a clean keto carnivore version of imitation crab. You would think that it would be simple to do because it's really just like fish paste. that's been kind of solidified, right? It's kind of like, and it's like a sheet that's rolled up, and then because it's crazy because like how good it is, and it's just fish paste, but it's got starch in it, right? And probably a little bit of sugar because it is a little sweet to taste like sweet crab. But that's one of those things that it's so irritating that it has carbs in it, like 14 grams of carbs per serving, and the serving is like little three little legs or whatever. And I think about that from time to time because I used to love that stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that's like literally fish paste. It's not crab. There's no crab in it at all. So it's just one of those things like it really shouldn't be that difficult. I just haven't thought about how to like I don't know. It probably also would probably be like you would probably use like those whatever it is, pour it into like the silicone molds that like you have like the ice cube molds or whatever, and then just I don't know. Yeah. Shelly is in the house. Shelly King, good morning. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could be both. It could be better technology, better able to detect things, as well as clearing up inflammation that could cause dampening of the hearing. Just like your eyesight should be getting better as we go keto carnivore, right? But Shelly's here. We're so glad to see you. But yeah, yeah, it's just a weird thing. It's such a crazy thing to think that, like, I mean, I understand that crab and scallops and all that stuff, they have carbs in them, but I don't worry about the carbs in those necessarily. It's not a thing that I really think about. I don't eat them. I don't really eat them often enough. Like shrimp, maybe have some carbs in them too. Um, I don't really necessarily worry about that. Like those carbs are kind of like I don't want to use the word free carbs, but I don't necessarily know. I need somebody like Um, I don't know, Cindy, does Brian eat like seafood at all? Like shrimp, scallops, and things like that? I would kind of be curious to see because there are carbs in those, and if there's enough to even impact his blood glucose. Um, now I know that it would just be like just one piece of data, but it's definitely because I mean that's one thing I would look forward to is like with the over the counter, like the over the counter type of blood glucose meter to see kind of like what carbs impact you versus others because I don't think necessarily even with carbs they're all necessarily the same. It's just something that I would be curious to see. Like to me, like carbs in broccoli versus carbs in like bread, or I mean, even if you had the same amount of carbs, the carb count, I don't think it would impact you the same. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't, but just one of those things. Yeah, I was thinking uh, like a chicken pot pie too, like because yeah, like a chicken pot pie, because my grandma used to make those for me. But you gotta have, like, the crust to go over the top, right? And I know there's that you could make, like, the filling with, like, keto chow, like the keto chow chicken, the chicken soup base, or, um, I mean, you'd probably even be able to just lay over I don't know, egg life wrap. I made, beef soup the other day with egg life wrap noodles. I'm gonna make a video on that. I think that's super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you were 2 years old, so it was like 1863. So I mean, they were. I mean, it was just a long time ago. Heath. I mean, I was born in 1864, so I totally get it. Um, Meat carbs have ever really seemed to impact me as others. Yeah, that's just something I was curious about. Um, Brian loves seafood, lobster scallops. Don't recall it ever bothering his glucose levels. Yeah, those are the things that I don't think we ever think about because, it's like, you see that there are carbs and scallops and all that stuff. But I imagine we dunk them in so much butter that the fat probably has a dampening impact on the carbs, even if they were to impact you. Let's see. So years ago, said I was not eating shrimp because it was low carb. Told her that all the carbs are in the shell. It might be. I don't know, to be honest with you. But if you buy like the D, like the D shell, D vein, or shell off, D vein, detailed, all that stuff, that's typically what I buy. So I can just throw them on my face. We have recipe videos. We made pot pies. So I mean, that's not just putting pot in the pie isn't what I'm talking about, Heath. Chicken pot pie is on my list for sure. Getting close to being happy with it. I don't envy your amount of dishes you probably have all the time. Like, I don't even like my dishes never go away, and I'm not making videos like you. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't make as many cooking videos because I just don't want to do all the dishes. You have spoken it into existence, Chris. Now people are going to be waiting for it. And I don't want to say something about Chris. So Chris, Chris is coming up on very close. He's getting within. He can see it. He can see 100,000 subscribers, and I don't know if, and I'm sure some of you know just what a massive, massive thing that truly is for a creator. As for someone like me, I'm struggling to hit 5,000 subscribers, and an obsession with getting a play button of my very own. That hitting 100,000 subscribers is probably something that I'll probably, not that it won't happen for me, but it's not something that I'm it's not right now in the realm of possibilities. Things would have to drastically shift in my subscriber count for that to happen for me. But for someone like Chris, and I just always want to make sure that people truly understand how like mind-boggling it is to see a creator come out. And I mean that in a very possible someone come out, start making content, and just kind of go. I can't remember when I first saw, maybe you were not even at 10,000 subscribers. I can't remember. But now you're at 80, 81, 82,000 subscribers. And you're coming, you're so close, like to coming with, hitting that. It's so amazing. I just can't, I don't know how, yeah. I just want to make sure that people understand that like how impressive and how awe-inspiring is for, for someone like me. Because I don't even know how long you've been making videos, Chris. So yeah, drugs are bad, okay? Sometimes they're necessary. Yeah, it's a chore. I wish that the best would be look like, yeah, yeah, I understand that. Some days that I've made like 3 videos and I'm like, yeah. The hardest part of making cooking videos is cleaning up all the dishes. Ask me how I know. Let's see. I'm trying to get it to 1,000, almost 700, and those dang watch hours are impossible. They seem impossible, but I mean, once they start clicking, like I used to struggle with having like hitting, because you got to have like about 320 hours a day to keep 4,000 a year or whatever. 320 hours a week, like or whatever it is. I can't think of what it is, but like I've been like staying at 700 hours a month now, or it's like 320 hours a month or whatever to keep 4,000 or within 28 days. And I've been staying around 700 to 900 hours. So it is possible. It just takes time. Um, Trying to get to 1,000 subs. Yeah, everybody go over and make sure you're following Sarah, follow Cindy. Don't forget to follow Chris Cook in Nashville. Make sure you're subscribed. He needs to get to 100,000 subscribers. That's just one of those things. Anybody, I want to make sure everybody gets, because the more people like Chris that become successful, the better it is for our community and the better it is for you and me as a whole. It just truly is. And that thing is like, I'm never going to tell somebody or not promote somebody I mean, if I'm not promoting somebody, they've got to be a real asshole. I mean, they've got to just be not a good person. But I mean, I'm always here, like people who don't want other people to have, you know, if you've got a cool video, let us know. If you got something you're working on, let us know because that's how we grow the community. Just over a year. That is crazy. Because it's and just so people understand that that's not normal. That's not normal. Like I've been doing this for 4 years and I'm just coming up on 5,000. So like I've got 600 and I don't know how many videos. I've got a lot. So I mean, it takes there's I mean, he's doing something completely different than me. He's like changing the game and putting out recipes that nobody else is doing. So he's definitely doing something and he definitely earns it and he deserves it. Heath, be safe, be careful, find yummy stuff. Says it feels impossible at the beginning, but the key is when you get momentum spike, you push and you keep that rolling. Do it over and over again. Plus, I study YouTube info daily. It really truly is. And I have a friend that was helping me in the very beginning. We still talk, and he does analytics and shows me that like he had a channel of his own and put a video out. Like the first video on this one channel he put out had like over 2 million views. Um, you know, you know. So it's just one of those things. It can get you down. I mean, as a creator, like if things like if you're used to if you're used to a certain level, and then like a month or two go by where it dips, you just feel it in your soul. And that's why I try to make sure that we all understand that we're in this together and that there's going to be ups and downs, and that's why we got to help push each other and promote each other. Um, Yeah, he says anyone not supporting other creators in the community doesn't understand. We're not competing with one another. We're here walking side by side as a community. The thing is that's like with shorts. There are 75 billion short views every day. There is no shortage of people to watch content. Now, making content that people want to click on, making content that is compelling, that is informative, that's entertaining, that is I don't mean to say worth the watch, but that is a part of it. So making content that is truly a part of you, you will grow. Whether I mean if you're only getting 1 to 2 views a video now, keep going. Then it'll get to 10 views, then 100 views. And you might start getting 1,000 views. And think about this. If you put a video out and it gets 100 views, think about getting people together in a room with 100 people to watch your video. Think about it from that perspective. Because I started where nobody was watching my content. You put a video out and you would get 1 view, 2 views, and you're like, oh, it seems an insurmountable. Now I put a video out and I may get 2 to 300 views. It takes time. It takes so much more work than I think people truly understand. So that's why, like I also try to be very transparent about the fact that why we try to monetize, we try to get sponsors and things because this takes so much time and effort and energy. It's so much harder than just going to work every day. Because at least when you're driving to work every day, you're getting a specific paycheck, you're getting a specific income based on a specific outline amount of work. With YouTube, you could put 200 hours into something and get nothing back. So it's just, I mean, it's truly a labor of love. And, John, be safe. Be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy church. And we'll see you soon, buddy. Okay. Yeah. I mean, dude, you're earning it, man. It's not, the thing is, it's not a competition. And I've tried to like joke with different like because it seems like there's been a couple of times where I put a video out and like the same day like Serious Keto has put the same video out or one very similar, and I know it's not on purpose because he's probably put the video out a week in advance for his members and stuff. I just happened to film it not knowing about it because I get something and then it just happens to work out that way. I laugh about it and like I'll make a comment. I'm like, I mean, I don't necessarily he may not know I'm joking. Hopefully he does. But like you put out like, oh, that does kind of frustrate you a little bit. I mean, I know it's not on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not trying to say that at all. But it's like, okay, I'm putting the same video out that Steve is. He's got a bigger audience. Hopefully, then that'll grow what I'm doing. There's just, I mean, it's not a competition by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you want to be different from others. So like when something like that happens where you put the same video out, you're like, oh, and I mean it happens too, like especially if you're all working for the same company, like when Keto Chow puts a new flavor out, everybody will try to drop the video. There's like they'll say, don't release the video until X time on X day, and then you can start posting or whatever. That's one thing. And I still usually do it a day late because that way I'm not in line with everybody else, and then you see mine separately from everybody else's. So yeah. The bigger channels that are that way for sure can't be bothered to share others' channels. And I mean, and they don't necessarily have to. And I don't think that necessarily, like, say, like Keto Twins or like Myra from Low Carb Love, I don't think they're not actively helping the community. I don't necessarily know if they know there's a community. They have their own, but I don't think, like, and someone like Steve says he doesn't watch other content because he's like, because keto content is his full-time job. And so when he doesn't watch keto content for fun, like we might. So I mean, and it takes a certain kind. So I mean, there's channels out there. I don't fault them for it. I just don't know if that's something that they're into. Because I don't know. I've never really heard like Keto Twins talking about other people's content before. Maybe I think they've talked about like Chris's stuff because I think they've made a couple of his recipes. But someone big like Wes. Wes is a person who will support you and will promote you if you're on his radar. And I mean that's the kind of the thing. Like, will you end up on their radar? I think they've got so much going on too. So I mean, not everybody is super involved in the community, so I don't necessarily fault them for that either. So, um, let's see. Let's see. How much more would we impact the world if we were all united front and helped each other? Crazy to imagine we could. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like that's that's what I've been talking about for because I did YouTube for like 2 years and I didn't have a community because I didn't know how to build one. I was trying. I had like the Facebook page and stuff, but it wasn't really building a community. And it wasn't till I went to a meetup for Jackie's keto journey, and Ready Set Keto and Don Does Keto, and I met Jennifer Lucas, and I met all these people, and that gave me the community that I've been looking for. I just didn't have it. So the difference to me between the first 2 years of YouTube and the last 2 years of YouTube, significantly better for my overall mental health too. I was putting out videos and then just kind of trying to promote them, but I didn't have a community behind me. I didn't have something to do it for. I was doing it for me and my own accountability. And I was trying to grow, like I said, I was trying to grow a community, but I just didn't know how. And I figured that out. So, um, let's see here. I think even if someone straight up copies what I do and it happens, I don't mind. It's a compliment that just won't work for them for long, but it says I'm doing something. Yeah, I mean, and like I remember one of my early video where I did Sahil over at Headbanger's Kitchen had made a video about like 3 ingredient breakfast stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my own version of 3 breakfasts, but I still promoted him. I was like, I got this idea from Sahil at Headbanger's Kitchen, put his logo on my, his thing. So I was like, this isn't my idea. I'm basically making this for him too. And I made, my own 3 ingredient breakfast thing. And I think that and to me, that was me trying to say, hey, I enjoyed your video. Here's another video, but I'm not trying, I'm definitely not trying to steal it and take the accolades of it on my own. Like, if I were to make one of Chris's things, I'd probably try to get him in the video with me. um, Maybe get him to do my dishes. I don't know. We'll see. Um, yeah. It's like I wish more channels were more responsive, but I know it can be very hard. I still keep up with answering every comment on my social medias, and it's a full-time job and exhausting, but worth it. Eventually, you're not going to be able to keep up. I mean, honestly, eventually you'll probably just it'll be overwhelming, and we will have to understand, um, you know, um, eventually, like when you hit 100,000, 250,000, half a million, we get that gold play button. Because once you get the silver play button, I think it's exponentially easier to go from 100,000 to a million. That first 100,000 is almost like an insurmountable thing, but I think more people, once they hit silver, if they continue on the trajectory, they will almost always hit a million. And I think that's amazing. And I think that's definitely something that would definitely help the community because as you see, someone like Dr. Barry, I don't necessarily know how much he promotes other channels. I know he does collabs with other channels, and I know that he's had a significant he helped significantly with like Amanda over Carnivorous Me. Um, she got a huge bump from him, and hopefully she comes around, and hopefully we hear from her soon because I know her story is so amazing, and having her in the community is so much more worthwhile than her not being in our community. So hopefully we're all reaching out to her and showing her love and letting her know that we still care. And anybody that has any insider personal relationship with her, that has any contact with her, let her know that we are thinking about her and that we are hoping that she comes back and that she is, uh, that she has a huge community behind her. That's one thing. I don't want to see somebody leaving the platform because of the stuff that she's gone through. Yeah, Wes is super amazing. He was there to help me get to over 1,000 subscribers, and then he pushed again, like to help me get like 3,000 subscribers. So I mean, just one of those people that amazing people. He actually lived in my town for a while, but was not where I'm at now. I don't think he knew who I was because maybe we could have actually done a collaboration or something if we would have known each other better at that point. Um, yeah, I love it. So yeah, trying to think it's a competition. It's hard not to fall. I mean, the competition aspect of it for me is improvement. So like looking at so when I see like Chris's videos, that inspires me to put more effort into my videos to not necessarily compete on a personal level, but a professional level to up my game, to make me want to make better videos. So anytime that I see somebody making videos that inspire me to keep me going, that's a competition, but I don't see that as a competition for subscribers. I think that is a competition to get better and to push ourselves. And like the same thing when I would see like the way Sahil would film his videos, like he had such crisp, gorgeous cinematography that weren't really seeing in a lot of keto cooking videos. I mean, the same thing with like Rule.me, and there's some other videos out there that they do like crisp, clean, close up, really well done shots, which is hard to do by yourself. So, let's see. So basically, yeah, 100,000 the first hurdle, then it becomes more coasting if you keep doing the work. I mean, once you do it, you're good. And then hopefully that'll open up more opportunities for you to where you have a better footing to be able to devote more time and energy to this to where it becomes more sustainable for you and your family, because that's the one thing that I hope for anybody who does this and puts everything into it, that they are able to make it sustainable and they're able to make it work, and that way that they can make this passion their full-time thing. So that's one thing that I have my fingers crossed for you, you know. It says there's a lot of pressure to compete, and at the end of the day, you have to forge your own path and find what makes you unique. But there's no competition at all. Yeah, like I said, like for me, competition is seeing what Chris is doing, the way he films his videos, the way they look, other creators, the way they film, the way they look, their sound, because you always want to make sure you're trying to better yourself. And I see it as inspiration. So I compete with other creators to make myself better, not to tear them down, not to make myself look better over them, but to just better myself because the overall better we content we make, the better we grow. Because people are going to watch better content hands down any day of the week. So the better content you can produce, so every time you put a video up, it should be better than the one you did the last one. Should look a little bit better, sound a little bit better. Now, again, that takes money. That takes time. It takes effort. It takes everything you've got. Um, I think, though, unfortunately for me, I think my earlier videos may have looked better than what I'm doing now, but I think that comes from time constraints and things like that. But, you know, let's see. So let's see. Evelyn is saying that a keto substitute she's looking for is for sticky rice that can be molded for Japanese bento. I have a Facebook community pre-keto of Japanese bento. So I'm not sure if you know what Japanese bento are. I don't mean to mansplain, but it's like little boxes of like sushi and little things like it's like a Japanese lunchable almost and my idea. I mean, Evelyn would probably correct me if I'm wrong. I hope so. But yeah, it's like a Japanese like sushi, like not all sushi, but it's cute. Mm. Delicious. The only reason to have like silence on a video is because of coffee. Uh, so, whew. Yeah, I'm almost out of coffee, you guys. Mm. So delicious. Uh, I still need to have Evelyn on my channel. I still need to get I need to have Matt and Sarah and Chris and all these wonderful people come and sit down and talk with me. And I will be hopefully getting in touch with all of you as time goes on. Anybody who's interested in coming and sitting down with me on a Saturday morning, or we can make it work during the week too, if necessary. I know not everybody's available Saturday mornings, but we'll make it work. Let's see. I have a carnivore sushi rice video, but I've upgraded how I make my rice. I might have to redo that soon. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like even with content, you can make the same video, especially with like talking head videos. You're always going to have new things. Like I need to make a video talking kind of my thoughts about like the whole new, the diabetes thing that Westman and Barry and Bickman are all doing. I want to know more about that. I want to make a video on that because I want to showcase that as much as I can. So, I didn't say the show was over. I was thinking about it because I'm out of coffee. I'm like, I can't make more coffee sitting here, but it doesn't mean the show was over. I mean, we have been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. Let's see. Sounds great. Looking forward to sharing it. Yes, please pass that on. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I try to do, and um, just finding the time and getting people to sit down because I'd love to sit down and talk to the keto twins and kind of let them know that there's a whole community out here. I don't even know if they're aware of it. I don't know. I need to find their email and email them and see if they'll sit down with me. I would whether they would do it separately or whatever. I'd like to try to get a hold of Myra and sit down with Myra. I want to sit down with Wes. I know he's got a lot going on though right now. He's riding for charity and doing amazing things. And I know I can probably get him to sit down with me sometime. There's some not people in the community that I want to sit down with. Um, I always want to introduce people to the community and introduce the community to other people. There's a couple comedians that I'd like to try to get on the show. Show, yeah. But let's see. Let's see. I agree. Victor and I have done two collab recipe videos and they're a lot of fun. I also did one with Alice and Kevin back in the day, and hardly anyone was watching. Yeah, do it again. People are watching now. That was one of the things about like sushi with like keto sushi. It's all held together with cream cheese. And not that I'm not a fan of cream cheese, I'm just not a fan of cream cheese in my sushi. And mm, and that's the kind of like it's just ugh, not good. Let's see, the collabs could turn into a full on network of keto help vids. So that would be the thing is being able to curate each video. It'd be nice to have like the long form videos and then go in and cut them down and make like shorter little clip videos. Like you see them do it with Rogan all the time. You'll see like little 6-minute videos from Rogan and all that stuff where you go in and take specific comments and questions or topics and cut them down to size. But that is a lot of work. It truly is a lot of work. And I do back up to the best of my ability all of these videos because I have to take them off of StreamYard. I download them and then put them in my backup drives and such. So it would be nice if it would be hopefully at one point in time I have somebody who could go back through, get to a point where I can pay someone to go back through all my old footage and cut them into smaller videos because like I just don't know if I have time to go through back hundreds and hundreds of hours because I don't even remember what we talked about in some of these videos because there were so many hours of talking. But yeah. Even when we go get real sushi, I don't like the cream cheese sushi. See, I've made several of Chris's recipes. Deliciousness at its finest. Thank you, Chris, for what you do for this community. See, I can't wait for Keto Palooza. It'll be hugs and high fives and lots of coffee drinking, but Cindy won't be invited to coffee because Cindy doesn't like coffee. So let's see. Stacy. Looking forward to seeing you and so many others next weekend. Yes, I'm excited. Stacy and I and Shander are having dinner next week with Ken. We're going to have dinner at the Rockstar Pizza. It's going to be fun and delicious. And then we are going to be doing the keto meetup on Saturday here in central Indiana. Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. KPL for the win. I'm super excited about it. I can't get here fast enough. Even in like even the description of this video, I went in and I put in all of the speakers so everybody knows who's speaking at this year's Keto Palooza. Because it's not updated on the website yet. I imagine maybe this week. But yeah, I mean, we've got two crazy ketos, Dr. Barry, Nisha, Maria Emmerich, Coach Bronson. I can't think of what her name is. Keto Bikini Secrets, Chris Bair, and Keto Camp, Ben Asadi. So I'm looking forward to meeting some new people because I have met obviously Joe and Rachel before. I have briefly I've shaken hands with Dr. Barry, but I've never actually really talked to him. I don't know if he knows who I am. Probably not. I mean, why would he really? Um, Maybe I'm too humble, but I don't think so. Um, I know he follows me on like Twitter and stuff, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Um, I would truly love it for you and Sarah to come. I would I would truly truly wish for that to happen. I would love for that to happen. That'd be so awesome. Hoping maybe Jen. I gotta text Jen again, and I'm gonna and see if Jackie wants to show up. Um, Let me see. Texting him as we speak. So dead air, dead air. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I don't forget. But yeah. Yeah. So it's 9 a.m. Well, 8:58. I'm out of coffee. Hey, Cindy. Cindy. Are you still listening to me, Cindy? I have a question for you. Well, let me see here. While we're waiting to make sure Cindy's still here. Good morning. Jasmine says, "Good morning. I think it would be great if all the influencers got together to do a 5K and walk to help raise money to bring awareness for New American Diabetes Society and Dr. Kinberry is a part of." I think that would be great. It would just be a matter of where we would meet, how would we where would we do it? There would be a lot of logistical issues. I'm not saying that I'm opposed to it by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah. So I would love to. I don't know if my information is correct, but is today your birthday, Cindy? Because if it's your birthday and I didn't wish you happy birthday, my bonus mom, on Mother's Day and your birthday, I would be legitimately upset with myself. Can we all wish Cindy a very wonderful happy birthday? She's finally 21. Finally 21. She can go out to the bars and celebrate. Finally 21. Happy birthday, Cindy. I would sing, but nobody needs that as a record on the internet forever. Not in your dreams. I'm not singing on this because that I don't need that lasting here forever. I just don't. The world doesn't need that to be in existence. Oh my goodness, Cindy. I almost didn't say happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness gracious. Cindy, Cindy, Cindy. Finally 21 years old. On Mother's Day, no less. Like, happy, happy birthday. We're bringing it to you. All those weird birthday songs at like restaurants and stuff because they couldn't legally sing happy birthday. Like, who was going to tell? Like, you go to like any of the restaurants and be like, happy, happy birthday, because they couldn't sing happy birthday to you because they would get whatever sued. Crazy. The fact that somebody owned happy birthday. So let's see here. So your job would make it not possible to send a meetup? Or am I missing it? What am I missing here? I wanted to go. I went last year, but I don't think I'm going to have the money this year to go all the way down to Tennessee. We were because last year we had a um I just saw Chris's comment. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, we had like a house. We rented an Airbnb. There was an armadillo. I had no idea that there were armadillos in Tennessee. Um, but it was just like how I'd never seen an armadillo in person. You just walk by, and I was like, they're really real. I was, like everyone thinks that the birds are drones, and birds aren't real. They're all drones. And I was like, well, that's what armadillos are. Armadillos are drones. They're not real. Oh my goodness, I would love to go, but I don't have a way to go this year. Oh my goodness gracious. You- oh my goodness, Chris. He's like, happy birthday. You can't possibly be 21. You look 26 at least. Oh. Let's see. The Happy Birthday intellectual property law case was a famous one for us to look at in college in the music business program. They no longer have a claim, so you can sing it now. Yeah, I know because like that's like when they couldn't sing Happy Birthday on TV. They couldn't. I mean, it was more likely like TV and restaurants, but like, and I understand copyright. Like if you wrote the song, then while you're alive or your estate is. But whoever wrote Happy Birthday, who knows when that was. It's just one of those things. Like I understand like copyright, and I understand like and because of copyright and because of all that stuff is the reason why I don't have a music channel on YouTube talking about music because I'd want to play and talk about solos and it would just be a constant battle because realistically I should be able to talk about and critique music and talk like add meaningful content to a song and not just play it, but it's so much more difficult with music. But yeah. If Orlando wasn't so far, and the problem is it's really close to Disney, and I can't afford to go to Disney right now. So ipso facto, going to Orlando and not going to Disney is not going to happen. Good morning, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, yeah. As a songwriter, I totally get the idea, but there was that one was a money grab based on old transcript of written music that was found to be a copy later on. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if you and I okay, so I worked for a music warehouse from 1998 till 2007. We were a CD distribution company. Basically, we would companies like Walmart, Kmart hired us to come into their stores. I wasn't like an in-store rep or anything like that. I worked in the warehouse boxing up the CDs to send to the stores. But we would go in and we would, basically design their music section, and we would do all that, and then we would put the CDs in the section, make sure they were organized and all that stuff. We put those stupid plastic locks on them or whatever. And we had machines that did that for us. So I understood to a degree because it meant that the more digital downloading, the more like Napster and all that stuff at the time, I worked through all of that stuff and I understood that it was a detriment to my job, even though, and then the same thing, like I understood that like bands like Metallica and stuff stand to lose some money here and there when it comes to illegal downloads. And at the same time, like as a person who loves music, I couldn't afford to buy all the music that I wanted. So like obviously, you started having friends in college and T1 connections became a thing, which it's hilarious to think of a T1 now when you have like gigabit internet and all that stuff. But like all of that comes into play, and you know, the desire to have all the music. And I mean, obviously now we're at a point where now there is no physical media anymore outside of some vinyl. Bands will sell vinyl. I know some bands will make cassettes again. Some are making, like, metal bands make cassettes. Some bands will still even press CDs and such just to sell at shows and whatnot, to kind of support and with their T-shirts and everything. But the major label bands, that's why concert tickets are $200-300 a seat now, because they're not offset by the CD sales. So people are like, how are concerts so expensive? Well, they used to sell CDs to people who didn't even go to the concerts. So people who did go to their shows didn't have to pay as much. I remember going to see, like, Lollapalooza '97 was like $29. If Lollapalooza happened this year with the same lineup, it would be like $500. So, it's just one of those things. Um, Armadillo pork roast. I don't think you really want to eat a real armadillo, though. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, we've been talking for over an hour and a half. I'm going to go get some more coffee, I think. Let's see. To make minimum wage as a songwriter, it has to get a song cut by an artist and get 100 million plays on YouTube. Yeah. YouTube pays a lot more than other streaming services. I imagine that, like Taylor Swift and Post Malone and the people who are consistently in the top plays. And, like, I understand that if you're getting the most plays, you deserve the most money. And I know that again, making music is like making content on YouTube. It is I mean, I never made money. Like, we never made money in a band. We paid money to have rehearsal space. We paid money to record. We did all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we never made money. And you can, but not really. I mean, it's just like being on YouTube. I make maybe $100 a month off of YouTube with affiliate marketing and YouTube money. That's not much. So, it's just one of those things for hopefully people to keep in mind. But, with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who is subscribed to me, everybody who is a member, everybody who comes in and speaks and hangs out with me every single Sunday, most Sundays, this Sunday, because you make me look forward to Sunday. I look forward to getting up and hanging out with everybody. I love each and every one of you so very much. And that's not just me saying that, that's legitimate. And I hope I get to hang out with all of you in person very, very soon. Some of you sooner than others. Some of you I'll see Friday. Some of you I'll see Saturday. Some I won't see till October. But with that, I want to say thank you again so very, very much for being here. Chris, Evelyn, Mary, again, happy birthday to Cindy. We love you so much on your special day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, all the ones who have mothers, all the mothers who aren't with us anymore, like mine. Oh, Matt, I appreciate you. Thank you for bringing that little bit of Disney magic my way. I truly appreciate it. And with that, I will see you all on Tuesday with Chandra and I.